Okay, so I think we're just on 1 p.m. So we will get started, and if anybody joins us then as we go through the webinar, we'll they can just join in. So just to welcome you today, my name is Linda Young, and I'm the Senior Manager for Undergraduate Student Recruitment here at TU Dublin, and I'm welcomed by a number of my colleagues here from admissions today. So I'd like to invite everybody across the webinar today to put as many questions as they like into the chat function. That's what my colleagues are here to answer those in the background, and we'll also field some of the questions here within the webinar itself. We really want you to use this opportunity to ask as many questions as you like. I know that the CAO will be closing now on Monday, so I suppose this is an ideal opportunity for you to ask whatever question that you like. And there are no such thing as stupid questions. We really want to hear them all. So please feel free to put any questions that you have in there, and we'll answer them. So just to give you a bit of an overview then of what we're doing. Just let me move on. So I've given you a bit of an introduction. As I said, my name is Linda Young, Senior Manager for Student Recruitment at TU Dublin. We'll also be talking about your study options. So I know a lot of you will have something in your mind that you're interested in, and you'll definitely want something. And then for some of you, you might have may not have no idea what way you want to fill out your CAO form, and you're just thinking about that now. We'll talk a little bit about the CAO form itself and how to strategically fill that out to get the best from it. A little bit about now the Leaving Cert is over. We'll talk to you a little bit briefly about the University Access Scheme, some tools that you might like to use over the next couple of days, and then if there are any further questions and answers at the end, then we'll take those up as well. So one of the key things that we notice in the university is that we get a lot of students that study very hard for their Leaving Cert, and they're studying in QQI or whatever, but sometimes they don't put real thought and effort into their CAO form, and they don't make it work for them. And that sometimes can leave students very disappointed. So this is a good opportunity now to have a real think about how you have your form structured, what you have on it, etc. Just do a full review in advance of submitting that and leaving it then. So we'll start off with a little overview of TU Dublin itself. I'm sure many of you know about TU Dublin and who and what we are. But just to give you an overview, TU Dublin is the largest university in Ireland. It's between ourselves and UCD, I suppose, really. And we offer programmes from apprenticeship to PhD. So we're unique in that in Dublin. We're the only university in the Dublin area that offer apprenticeships. We also offer level 6 programmes and level 7 programmes. Again, unique to TU Dublin. And I'm going to go into that a little bit more as we go through the event today, explain what they are and how they may be useful to you. We've a large staff population. You can see the staff student ratio there is very high, and that's one of the key features in TU Dublin, in that we work in very small groups and students really enjoy that. They have a lot of access to their academic staff. They get to know other students in their class, etc. So that is a key feature at TU Dublin. We've a lot of nationality studying with us, a lot of students from all over the world, and we're based in 5 locations in Dublin. So just to give you an idea on those locations, Blanchardstown, Tala, Grangegorman, Bolton Street and Ainger Street. Sorry, just 1 second to have that. So if you're considering your study options, there are a few things that you need to do over the next couple of days if you're kind of preparing yourself now just to finalise your CAO form. As I mentioned there early on in the presentation, what sometimes students don't do is they don't consider a lot of options, and they don't kind of expose themselves to what's on offer. They're very much kind of contain themselves to, I think I'll go there because my friends are going there, and things like that. And they really don't have a good or do a good bit of research on what's available to them. So over the next couple of days, I would say to you, I know like you've just probably, like for some of you, you've just finished your Leaving Cert or finished your QQI courses, and that bit of freedom is feeling really nice. But just over the next couple of days to go back and have a really good look at what's on offer. Think about what you like as a person, what you enjoy, because one thing that I will say to you is students that study, that study in a program, something that they really enjoy, tend to really thrive. While you're investigating the study options, I'd also advise you to investigate common entry options, or what are also known as general entry options. So at TU Dublin, we have a number of options structured in this way. And just to explain them, so for example, if you're a student and you know that you enjoy science, but you're looking at all of the science programs and you really can't pick right now, you really don't know which pathway that you want to go down, what you can do is you can study science general entry or science common entry. And what that means is you come into first year, you get a flavour of all of the different science specialisms, you kind of study the basic rules of science at university level, and then in year 2 you can progress onwards to is the presentation not on the screen? Can you not see the presentation? Guys, can you see the presentation, Adrian?
No.
No? Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm going through the presentation here. The presentation should be on the screen. Sorry about that, guys. Can you see the presentation now?
Yeah, it's not full screen. Yeah, I see it now. Perfect.
Okay. Sorry about that. I just assumed it was on the screen. Common entry pathways, as I say, guys, if you're thinking, again, as I was mentioning to you about science, at the end of first year, then you get to pick your specialism. And the beauty of that is coming in on a general entry or common entry pathway allows you to kind of understand what it's like to study a subject at university level without having to pick a specialism. And within that first year, then you'll get to talk to our own career guidance counsellors within the university who'll kind of give you advice and guide you on what pathway to go down. So that's a really nice option for students who perhaps know that they like a subject but don't know exactly what they want to do. And you'll see that offered in business, in computer science, in engineering, and in science in the university. So lots of options there for you. And a lot of students really like those options, again, because they're not 100% choosing what they're doing just quite yet. There's also the QQI pathway, or formerly known as the PLC. So a lot of students will come out of secondary school. Again, they're not 100% sure on what they want to do. And sometimes students will choose a QQI pathway to more or less test out if something is going to be for them. So say, for example, you're a student, you think you're interested in law, you wanna go and study law in university, but you're perhaps not ready to commit to a 4-year law degree. You can go in and do a QQI program in law for a year. It really gives the students a flavour of what it's going to be like to study at university. And then at that stage, you can apply into university using both your Leaving Cert qualification and your QQI qualification. So you basically get two opportunities to get into that course at university level. It's a well-worn pathway. I would say to you, it's very well established. TU Dublin made 21% of all of the offers in Ireland to QQI students last year. So that's just over a fifth of all offers made in the country were made by us. That just goes to tell you how, much of a well-respected pathway it is from TU Dublin's perspective. And we know that students who do QQI and then come to university are very well prepared because they've had that year in a college setting, and they're really well prepared for university life when they come in there. So that's another option for you, just in terms of you might want to have that on the back burner if you're definitely considering coming to college, but it is another opportunity. Often students use that pathway as well. If, for example, they've fallen short on points for a particular subject, they'll go and do the QQI program and then use that to apply into the subject the next year. So what you want to do then is you want to think about how you learn, and also when you're picking a subject. Is applied learning a better option for you? So I know that a lot of students, when they're picking subjects in university, it's perhaps not a thing that they really think about, or picking a course for university. It's not a thing that they think about. How do I learn, and what's the difference between the different universities? TU Dublin is a very applied learning university, a lot more so than a lot of the other universities in Dublin. And I suppose that's, the whole remit of a technological university, is that it's very applied. And what that means is that you'll get to get your hands dirty. If you're in engineering, you're going to be in there, electrical engineering, building little robots and learning about electronics while actually doing it. The same with the labs. If you're in science, you'll be in the labs a lot. If you're doing architecture, you'll be in the studios. Art, you'll be in the studios. Music, you'll be in the concert hall, etc. So it's a very applied education. So you really need to think about how you learn. A lot of our students really thrive in this environment because they get to be applied. They're working in small groups. It's very collaborative. They're also writing essays as they go along. And exams, you're not going to have a big exam at the end of 2 years. Yes, you will have exams probably twice a year, but they're only a percentage of your overall module. So it's not the same as Leaving Cert at all. But I would say if you're a person that really thrives by doing things, TU Dublin will definitely be for you. Do you prefer access to academic staff, and support? So as I mentioned to you at the very start, the university has a lot of staff, and we have a very high student staff ratio. So, for example, you'll normally have about 3,500 staff in the university. You can see that we've about 30,000. So you're talking like one staff member to every 10 students in the university, which really means that students can get a lot of value from the academic staff. And they know that you're in class. They miss you if you're not there. And some students really thrive in that environment, particularly if you're coming from secondary school. And that's what and that's what you feel comfortable with. A lot of students will feel very comfortable in that environment, knowing their different academics and being able to ask them questions, etc. And that's perhaps something that you won't get in other universities. And also value making a friend group in class. Getting to know the other people in your class. When you have a smaller class group, that's easier. Groups of friends are, people have friends for life when they come to university and they meet them. So having those group of friends in class as well is great. So they're just some of the highlights, I suppose, of TU Dublin. Okay, so just want to talk to you about understanding points and minimum entry requirements then. I know a lot of you will have done a lot of this work with your guidance counsellors, or if you're in a QQI, etc. But I feel that we need to repeat this here because it's something that comes up every year, and it's important for students to understand. Just you'll see here, we have the CAO points range outlined on this slide. And you can see for this programme, Environmental Health, the points range for last year.
Excuse me, Linda, sorry to interrupt you there.
Not coming up again?
No, it's gone there again.
Don't know what's happening there. Just identify that to me again if that happens again, Nolene. I don't know why that is happening.
Gremlins.
A gremlin, of course. Okay, it's up there now. Can you see it now?
Now I can. Yes, thank you.
Now you can. Great. Okay. So this slide identifies the CAO points range. And as I was mentioning there, I feel it's important to explain this to students because a lot of students make their decisions around points and what they think is good and better, etc. So I just want to explain, the concept behind points, why they're there, etc. Just so that you can understand. So this programme, Environmental Health, has a points range of 298 to 475. What that means is the student on the highest points on this programme last year was on 475 points, and the student that came in on the lowest points came in on 298 points. Okay, so there's quite a broad range there in terms of the students that came in on the programme there. The lowest points that a student came in were 298. And what students have always previously looked at is the lowest points, and they think, oh, everybody in the class came in on 298. I got 400. I, probably could do a different course. It would be better for me. Guys, there is a range of students in your class. All of the students come in on different points into the class. It's the same in secondary school. You have what we call a bell curve. Some students are at the top, some students are at the bottom, but most of the students are in the middle. So all of the programs in the university and all of the universities in Ireland are validated at a certain level. If it's level 8, the QQI have validated that program at level 8. So it's a good standard offering at level 8, and it meets that requirement. So just want you to understand that. And guys, just so also that you know, some courses have really high points, and that's because they have quite a few places on them. You'll notice in a lot of our health science programs in the university, we have quite high points on them. And the reason behind that is that there's very few places on that program. So students are competing to get in there, and we have to keep pushing the points up to try and, narrow the field down to just that small number of students, which is, it is heartbreaking for a lot of students that really want to do that program. But unfortunately, that's the way that it's done here in Ireland and all of the universities. And, people will look at programs with really high points on them and think, oh my God, this must be an absolutely brilliant program. All of the programs are very good, guys, but some of the programs have higher points because there is less places on them and competition to get into them. So just wanted to explain that to you. And the points range there, as I say, if you look on our website there, you'll see points ranges, and you can understand that some of the students came in like between 475 and 298, but the lowest points on that last year was 298. Okay, so moving on then. The minimum entry requirements then for our programs in TU Dublin, another thing that you need to be aware of and just be cognizant of over the next couple of days. TU Dublin actually has very, quite easy minimum entry requirements in terms of, some of the other universities in Dublin. We require for level 8 programs 6 subjects to enter university. And the 2 subjects that we need to see are either your maths grade and then your English or Irish. It's not English and Irish, it's English or Irish. And we don't need an exemption for Irish. If you are not taking Irish, that's absolutely fine. Your English grade will suffice, okay? So you have your points and your minimum grades. Then some of our programs do have another grade requirement. It's mostly around science or some of our language programs. You'll see another grade requirement. In this one for particular, you'll see this one is requiring a science subject. So an O4 or H7 in one of those science subjects. So that's really the things that you need to look out for, because sometimes we'll have students that have listed a program, they've done very well points wise, they've got their maths, English, Irish, but they've actually forgot that they needed like a physics subject or a chemistry or whatever, and they don't have that. And then they're wondering why they haven't been made an offer in that program because they have the points and they done very well, etc. So just to highlight that to you, I feel certainly in recent years, students are definitely getting better with this, but again, it's no harm just to highlight it to you at this stage. One of the key features that I mentioned at the start is the ladder of progression, or the opportunity to come in and move through university at TU Dublin. So you'll see at TU Dublin, we offer programs at level 6, which are a higher certificate. We offer programs at level 7, which are an ordinary bachelor degree. And then we offer programs at level 8, which are an honours bachelor degree. Okay, so that's what you guys are concerned about if you're coming in at undergraduate level, and then obviously you can progress on to masters and PhD if you wish to do that a little bit later on. But for the most part, we're focusing on this. Okay, so if your higher certificate 2 years, level 6, guys, the leaving cert is level 5. Okay, so this is the next step up from leaving cert. And for a lot of students, 2 years really suits them. They don't want to commit to 4 years. They'll come in and do their 2 years. And at the end of those 2 years, they may choose to go to employment, or they may choose to progress, guys. So this is unique in TU Dublin. You can come in, do 2 years, add on a year, progress to year 3, add on another year, progress to year 4. Okay, so technically you're building a flexible education for yourself, and again, that's quite unique to the other universities in the Dublin area. So this is just an example of progression, and we call that moving from level 6 to level 8 progression. And again, I really want you to think about this when you're filling out your CAO form, because a lot of the time, myself and some of our team, we see a lot of students that are very anxious to, you know, to get onto a level 8 program and progress through like that. And, you know, people should, you know, want to do their best and get what they want. But what I'm trying to explain to you today, guys, is that there's loads of ways to do things, okay? And I think this one is actually, you know, a really good example of how there's lots of ways to do something. So if you come in on our level 6 program, it's TU 678 Business General Entry on the marketing stream. Last year, you would have needed 251 points. And for a level 6 entry, you would need 5 subjects, your maths at grade 06 and your English or Irish 06 H7, okay? You do 2 years, and then once you achieve your you know, you do your second year results, if you get 55% or higher, you can go straight into the third year of this level 8 degree at TU 922, okay? That effectively means that you are finishing your honours degree program on the same day as the students that went straight into that program from Leaving Cert. Now you can see the difference in the entry requirements for coming in straight at level 8. So last year you would have needed 384 points to come into this marketing program, 6 subjects and 3 H5s. And you've your maths and your English or Irish needs to be at a higher grade there as well. So I just want to identify that there's more than one way to come into the university. And really what you guys need to be thinking is not about how you actually come into university, but planning for the long term as to how you're going to exit university and what way you're going to exit, like what award you're going to exit with, guys. Because all too often we see students perhaps coming in on their 9th choice at level 8 because they really just want a level 8. And after a couple of weeks, no, they're saying to themselves, this isn't for me, because realistically they've chosen with their heart and that they wanted the level 8 rather than coming in maybe on their first choice at level 6 and staying, you know, with their head, coming in, doing the 2 years, progressing to third year, etc., and being successful that way. So what I'm saying to you guys is you need to be really strategic about how you fill out your CAO form. All too often, you know, myself and some of the team, we're seeing students who are absolutely excellent students who are filling out 2 or 3 courses at level 8. They haven't filled out their CAO form to any degree at all. They haven't really thought it through. And what happens is on the day, maybe their maths doesn't go according to plan, and all of a sudden they actually end up with no offer whatsoever. So you really, really need to think about that over the next couple of days. And if I could give you any advice over the next couple of days, it would be to really think out your CAO form, think about every area of it, like your first, second, third, fourth, all the way down. Can I see myself going to that university, sitting in that seat? And, you know, how am I going to strategically plan? If I have business as my number 1 choice at level 8, I'm going to put something very similar at level 6 to make sure that I can get that into that business subject and progress on that little bit later on. But this is the strategy for filling out your CAO form, and this is the advice that we would give you just in terms of the best way to fill out your courses on your CAO. Congratulations to everybody that's finished their Leaving Cert, actually, by the way, and I didn't mean to say that at the start, but what often happens with students who have just finished their Leaving Cert is they're thinking about, I did this, I didn't do good in maths, I didn't do so well in Irish, I wanted to do better in French, and I don't think I did that. And what happens is they remove all of their dream courses, they change their CAO around completely to try and fit in with how they feel they've performed. But that is not how you fill out your CAO form. Your dream courses always go at the top, guys, always go at the top. So you just don't know from year to year. As I said, it's about competition to get into a program, and trends change. People want different things every year, and we can definitely testify that. And that's why points go up and down. So your dream course goes at the very top, and I'd say maybe dream courses 1, 2, 3, perhaps down to 4. Putting in the realistic courses then. This is where you might think to yourself, well, I think I did this and I think I did that around the realistic courses, and you're filling in then maybe from 3, 4, 5 down to around 8. And then for the last 9 and 10, these are courses that you're pretty sure, like 100% sure, 90% sure that you're going to get. So that is the structure of the CAO form. If you have a camera phone there, I'd say probably take a picture of that and have a real think about that over the next couple of days. You have 3 or 4 days now just to get this all finalized. And I know with the weekend coming up, you might want to spend 2 or 3 hours, which I know sounds like a lot of time, but guys, it's going to make a huge difference to you in terms of your future if you just put that little bit of effort in now. You also have another 10 options on your level 6, 7. So you have 20 options in all. And I'd advise you again to really think about your level 6, 7 as well. Realistically, I would suggest that what you have at level 6, 7 would more or less mirror what you have at level 8 in terms of similar options. And for some of you, you want to commit to the 2 years, you're absolutely fine with that, and you'll work from there later on. But for some of you, level 6 or level 7 may be a backup option. So make sure, think about that strategy. Fill out your level 8s and then your level 6, 7s, maybe mirroring what you have above. Remember that your choices in one list don't affect your other choices on the other list. So they're nearly like two separate applications. And it's more than likely, that you will receive 2 offers on the day. So when the offers come out, you may get a level 8 offer and you may get a level 6, 7 offer. So what that might look like is you may get your first choice or your 4th choice level 8 and your first choice level 6. Okay, so you can accept those offers, guys. And if it's a case in the next round that the points fall, you can move up onto your 3rd offer or whatever. But what I would say to you is always accept your offer in round 1, because you can get another offer even if you have accepted your 4th place choice. If the points come down, you'll get another offer in the next round. As I've mentioned, list your courses in genuine order of preference and try to, leave those on there, and you just don't know how it's going to work, guys. The last thing that you'd want is to be disappointed with something if, for example, you actually did better than you thought, but you have removed the course and now you would have got it. So that would not be good. So double check all of your communications from the CAO this week as well. Just make sure that you followed all their instructions, that your Leaving Cert exam number is correct, your email address is right. Guys, you want to make sure that you're getting the offer and, you're not missing out on an offer because of some small glitch, like your Leaving Cert number is not in there, so your results won't upload, or your PPS number or whatever. So I would have another little check over that and just double check that that's all correct and working, and make sure that the email address that's in there is correct and that you're using it, because the last thing that you want is to be not getting correspondence from the Leaving Cert or from us if you're getting an offer. So now that the Leaving Cert is over, as I said, congratulations, and congratulations to everybody who done their QQI exams, or perhaps you're a mature student coming back after many years. So now that it's all over, this is how the rounds will work for CAO. Okay, so in early July, I think we're talking around the 9th of July. Is that correct, Nolene? The 9th? Or is it a little earlier?
Sorry, it's actually the 5th.
The 5th, okay, a little earlier. So earlier than expected. The 5th, we are making our first offer to mature applicants. So if you're a mature applicant on the call today, I would make sure if you have any outstanding documentation or anything that you need to get in, that you get that in immediately, because at this stage we're largely assessed with our matures and we want to start making those offers next week. Then round 0 is in early August. That's for our QQI applicants. And then round one is in late August. I think it's the 29th of August this year. Am I correct in saying that, Nolene? 29th of August?
It's just the way the calendar is falling this year, and the results, it's the 28th, a day earlier. But I've put a link up above, Linda, to the offer dates as well.
Yeah, the offer dates are in there, yeah. So, so guys, we start then orientation in mid-September. So, you know, round two will actually run before orientation this year as well. So if you're getting an offer in the second round, you'll still have time to get that offer and then come to orientation if you're coming to TU Dublin. So, so guys, keep an eye out for those dates, because what also happens to students is the offers go out and they're not aware that the offers are coming out, and they don't accept them on time. And, you know, if you don't accept your offer on time, it may go back into the system. We're thinking that you don't want it and it goes to somebody else. So you just need to keep an eye on those dates, and Nolene has posted those in there for you. So after all of that, guys, and I know it's very, very hard to gauge how you've done in your exams, and, you know, you're waiting on those results and the results come out, and then a couple of days later you're getting a college place, and it all seems to happen really, really quickly. And what happens sometimes is students are a little bit disappointed. They won't have got the mark that they wanted, or they won't have got, you know, a grade in a subject, maybe a minimum requirement that they needed. But there are some other options available in September, and I want to make you aware of this, because I know not a lot of students seem to be aware of this, and it is important. So every year we publish available places on the CAO, okay? After round one runs, we will see how many places we have left, and we will publish them on the CAO. Now, not all universities will do this. Some universities don't like to publish their available places, other universities do. As I mentioned at the very start, we're a very, very large organisation. We actually take in the most first years in the country, just under 6,000. So we do have a few places here and there on some of our courses, and we like to publish them and make them available to students, you know, if, for example, they haven't got what they wanted or something hasn't worked out for them. You can apply on the same CAO form that you used, and you can add available places and apply as if you're applying through the CAO, or you can make an application for the first time. You know, if you come in contact with anybody who perhaps hasn't made a CAO application and wants to in September, they can do this. But, you know, then we will assess you, and perhaps you will be offered available places. And I know we got quite a few students in on available places last year, where perhaps they weren't satisfied with their offer, or they got an offer somewhere else that, you know, maybe it was their 9th or 10th offer, and they felt actually that university's too far for me, and they came in through this route. And a lot of students really enjoyed it, and we're delighted that they've come in. And we'll be doing a webinar on that in September during the actual available places period. So just over the next couple of days, and we'll send these slides on to you guys, there are a few tools that we'd suggest that you have a look at. We have our dedicated CAO hub in there. You can have a read about everything TU Dublin there. There's lots of tips, hints, you know, it talks about how progression works, all of the different services, etc. in the university. We've linked there to the points calculator on careers portal, just if you haven't seen that. We also have some notes just on change of mind. And then there's a guide in there for parents and guardians, you know, if you want to pass that to your parents or anybody that might like to read that. So, so they're linked there, and that you can have a look at those. So do we have any questions there, guys, that we would like to take at this stage? Is there any questions that anybody would like to ask us now that we have that couple of minutes? Anybody got any questions?
Nothing in the chat so far.
Nothing in the chat?
No.
Anyone got anything specific that they would like to ask, just as we, you know, sometimes people are afraid to, but even if you just want to type them in, oh, that's great. I think we've somebody putting a question in there. Now is your chance, because you know, it will close soon. So I'd recommend, if you have any last questions to ask us, please do. Also, just to mention, for those of you who are joining us in relation to business, we just have one program that has been put, one stream from one of our programs that has been pulled from the CAO for this year. If you want to amend your form, TU678, the retail management stream has been paused for this year. So you can amend your form to list the marketing or management stream instead, but other students may like to do logistics. So just in terms of the questions that we have there, so we have a question about exams and if you have learning difficulties in the Blanchardstown Centre. Okay, so the way we manage students with learning difficulties or students under the DARE scheme, we have what we call learning support officers in TU Dublin. And you can meet our learning support officer. They will assess your needs and they will basically set up whatever you need for your exams. So for example, some students may need a reader, they may need a scribe, they may need extra time or a room on their own, etc. So yes, we manage all of that on each of our campus locations, and they look after the students very well. So I have another question there. I'm currently working and I did my QQI level 6 and 22, so I'm considered a mature student. So do I still be considered a mature student even when I'm 23 in the autumn? Okay, so you need to be 23 before the 1st of January this year to be considered a mature student. Okay, so just so that you know, it's the 1st of January, the year that you intend to enter college. So if you were 23 before the 1st of January this year, then you're considered a mature student. For some students, they may be a mature student, they may have a QQI, and they may also have a leaving cert. If you have all three of those, make sure that you tick those three options on the CAO form to give yourself a number of opportunities to be offered. So thank you for answering that, Noeline. Does anybody else have a question that they'd like to add? Okay, so over the next couple of days, guys, we do have a chatbot on our website, and it gets straight through to some of our staff in the admissions team, and also to some of our staff, you know, who can assist you with, you know, questions, etc., that you might have over the next couple of days. If you go to the main TU Dublin website, tudublin.ie, you'll see a little a chat button come up on it. It says ask. Please feel free to ask us any questions that you would like over the next couple of days, or you can email us at admissions@tudublin.ie or courses@tudublin.ie, and we can assist you in any way possible over the next couple of days. Listen, I'd like to say thanks for coming on today. I wish you the very best of luck in everything that you do this summer, and I really hope everything goes well for you in the offers later this year. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.